Apple computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
Did you see Apple's 1984, January 24th, 1984 Super Bowl ad? Are you old enough to remember it? The next day, you could have bought Apple stock for 11 cents a share. I guess the question is, would you have, if you had seen that ad, would you have responded in such a way that you would have taken advantage of it? If you saw it today, would you recognize it for what it is? I want to show you something that you should have seen just this last week and see what you think this is going to be and how you should react.
But nothing worked, and by the next year, the cancer had spread to her lungs. But Kathy's health made a remarkable turnaround after she received a groundbreaking experimental treatment in Portland, led by Dr. Ron Leidner.
This is potentially a one-and-done treatment.
Dr. Leidner's treatment is currently the only known effective therapy for metastatic pancreatic cancer, the deadliest of all cancers. It works by harvesting the patient's T cells through a blood draw and genetically modifying them to attack the cancer, then reintroducing those cells to the body. It's known as a living drug, meaning after a single infusion, the cells should remain in the body and repopulate, so even if the cancer comes back, the cells would still be there to fight it. For Kathy, the results were astounding. In less than a month, her tumors had shrunk by 62%.
It was like, what do? You just stand there with your mouth open because you're just so awestruck.
And after 6 months, down 72%. Her cancer is now stabilized. While just one patient, it represents a major breakthrough in the fight against cancer. And Dr. Leidner says it could be effective in treating other forms as well, including colon, lung, prostate, and breast cancer.
This is the first one. It proves it can happen. That's the first big step.
That was Kathy Welks of Florida and Dr. Ron Leitner. He is with Child's Research Institute, a division of Providence Research Institute in Portland, Oregon. So the question is that as important as the Apple ad in 1984? And if it is, what should you do about it? How should you react? Where should you invest your money if you believe this is as important as the January 24th, 1984 ad? I believe it is. I know where I'm investing my money, and I want to share it with you today. And then I want you to do some research on it and get back to me and tell me if you think I'm in the right place. We'll talk about that right after we clear up the fact that this is not financial advice. This is financial education at its best.
Best of Us Investors presents Carrie Griegmeyer.
So that gives you a clue as to what's going to happen in the healthcare field. We're going to move from health care to health cure. So knowing that, how do you react as an investor? What do you invest in today now that you know what is going to happen? Now that you've seen the evidence that what happened to Apple in 1984 is going to happen in the healthcare field in 2022. Let me give you my past history in this space. I've been interested in it for over a year now, and that has a lot to do with my family history. The fact that my daughter died of cancer, my father died of cancer, my mother died of cancer, and my younger brother has fought cancer. So I have been very focused on genome sequencing, genome therapy, that's what Kathy is having, and genome editing. So where did I do my research? The first thing I did was read this book. I'm 77 years old, so it interested me. The title is Lifespan. It's written by David Sinclair, a PhD at Harvard University. It basically asks the question, why we age and why we don't have to. That struck a chord with me. And what he basically says, if we can take the diseases out of our body that kill us, we can live forever, if we then also create some spare parts. That's coming down the road. We won't focus on that just now. From there, that told me about genome sequencing and genome editing. So I went to this book. This is A Crack in Creation, written by Jennifer Doudna and Samuel Sternberg. Gene Editing and the Unthinkable Power to Control Evolution. This will introduce you to the science of genome editing. That will make you a millionaire. If you want to become a multimillionaire, you'll then read this book. This is a book by Walter Isaacson. It is called The Code Breaker. It is the story of Jennifer Doudna. It is also goes into the other key players in this industry. Here are who some of them are. You'll want to learn as much as you can about these people. You will learn that from reading Walter Isaacson's book. So, with that in mind, that's where I am, or where I was about a year ago. What I then decided I needed to do was to learn more about the companies that were playing in this space. So as a result of that, these are the companies that I currently own that I believe are going to be key players in the transition from healthcare to health cure. And as I said, they are in the fields of genome sequencing, genome therapy, genome editing, and then pharmaceutical use of artificial intelligence. What I'm showing you here is their ticker symbols, their current market value, the current price, the number of shares I own, and then over here I'm projecting what the value of these shares I believe will be 10 years from now. And in the far right, I'm showing you those areas, whether it's genome therapies, genome editing, genome sequencing, or pharmaceutical AI, or pharmaceutical or genome data. That's those companies. What I want you to do, I'll put a link in the description where you can give me your email address and I'll send you a copy of this chart. What I then want you to do is take this chart and go to Seeking Alpha. If you don't belong to Seeking Alpha, I'll give you a 50% discount link that you can gain access to Seeking Alpha. And I want to show you now how to use Seeking Alpha to educate yourself, not only just on genome sequencing, genome therapy, and genome editing, but every one of these companies. So you understand what they do and why you own them if you do choose to own them. So let's look at Seeking Alpha. This is the Seeking Alpha page on CRISPR. And as you can see, it gives you a complete overview of the stock, everything from its year-to-date performance, which is a disappointing down 42% for me, but good for you because it has a bright future in front of it. Then what I want you to do is to read these articles. These are other people's views. This is other people's have done research for you and given you an opinion of what the stock is about. You can see how current it is right here, and you can go through and get a real handle on what CRISPR is all about, what the stock is all about, and how it will potentially perform in the future. You can see CRISPR's presentation for their quarterly earnings, and you can build a knowledge base, not only on CRISPR, but every one of the stocks that I'm recommending that you need to consider in this portfolio. This gives you a profile of CRISPR and what they're all about and what the business is about. It gives you a graphic on its revenues as well as its earnings per share, and as you can see, this is not a profitable company. This is what Apple was in 1984. What I'm saying is that Seeking Alpha can give you everything you need to make a good invested decision as to whether or not this is a stock you want to own. I will put in the description a link so that you can get a 50% discount on Seeking Alpha. I believe this is something that you must have in your investment toolbox in order to make good investment decisions. That will bring you to the status, reading these books, understanding the science and looking at understanding the stocks to where you are one of the smartest guys in the room. And that's what it takes to be successful in investing. Now, what I want you to do is form a community. That is to say, a group of people that you can work with in this chosen field. And again, if you choose to go in another field, follow this path anyway. Educate yourself to become the smartest guy in the room relative to the area that you choose to study and be educated and knowledgeable in. Where do you find these people? If you can, go to Starbucks and put together, ask around, are any of you interested in genome sequencing and genome editing? Good luck with that. The other option is there is a platform on the internet called Meetups. They have it here in my city. If you choose to, maybe you can find a group of people who is interested in investing and interested in genome sequencing, genome editing, genome therapy, and the advancement from health care to health cure. Hopefully you can do that. If that doesn't work, I would invite you to come to our Discord. That is our tribe. I have built over the last year and a half a tribe of, right now there's a group of, I believe it's over 18,000 people, some of them active, some of them not active, that come and share their knowledge, that come together and work together to find the answers to the questions that they need to become the smartest people in the room. In addition to that, I have reached out and invested in buying the knowledge from other gurus, from people who do work in this area and have showed a propensity to be successful at buying stocks. I will share their information with you, not only on biotech and genome sequencing, but every field that they endeavor in. The purpose of this is to create a community. It's built around Discord, and it's there to help you make better investment decisions. What you need to know and what you need to focus on is the world is going to change more in the next 10 years than it has in the preceding 100 years. And that is a result of the digital revolution. The data that the people, the Amazons, the Googles, the Microsofts, the Apples have gathered over the last 40 years, then combined that with all the data that your medical field, your smartwatch, your Fitbit, all the data that has been gathered is now going to be sorted through the use of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and then eventual quantum computing to change this world we live in so that we make better decisions in every aspect of our lives. I choose to work in the area of health care to health cure. What gives you an advantage, if you will commit to this, what gives you an advantage is 90% of the people in the world will not put forth the work. We know that to be a fact. That's why there are what they call the 1%ers, the wealthiest people in the world that work hard to be creative, to understand the world they live in, to stay attuned with change, much as you would have in 1984 when you saw the Super Bowl commercial on January 21st, 1984. You would have said, that's change. And I need on Monday morning to buy Apple stock at 11 cents a share. You're at the same place, but it's not 1984. It's 2022. I am reminded of a song that I love. It's by Meatloaf. It's called Pleasure by the Dashboard Lights. If you don't know what that means, I'm sorry. But basically in that song, Meatloaf is asked, what are you going to do now, boy? What are you going to do now? Are you going to put forth the work? Are you going to join a community to help you make better investment decisions? Or are you just going to stay on the path that you've been on and hope things work out for you? It's up to you. Understand, if you say right now, I'm going to do it, you are, I would say, a 5%er. So that's what Best of Us Investors is all about. That's what Carrie Grinkmeyer is all about. What are you going to be all about? Let's talk about it more tomorrow. Oh, and what I want to talk to you about tomorrow is Peter Zion's new book. This is the book that really changed my outlook on the geopolitical world and how the investment world works. It was published in, I believe it was 2014. Peter's got a new book coming out. I believe it's on June the 5th, and I've already done some research on it, and I want to share it with you because, as he says, this is the beginning of the end. Let's find out more about that tomorrow.